Hello, good morning. It's a wet one out there, so grab your pack-a-mac and let's all go. Hiya, again, another aggressive intro, so I'm told, but actually I think it's just adrenaline. It's just trying to pump people up. Let's get excited about this thing. This is Fringe Festival Support. We are a community spirit project. We have guests on to talk about their Fringe experiences in the hope that everybody sees them and thinks, oh, someone else is having exactly as bad a time as I am, and see that it all gets better. It really does. You can get in touch with us through our information. We have the Twitter and the Facebook and the website and the GoFundMe page if you fancy putting your hand in your pocket for this. And we're just trying to help people have a better time and cope all the way through this absolutely bonkers month. So, turning to my guests, we have 3 guests today. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We have Phil Nichol. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Mr. Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Phil's a little tired, but he's turned it on. I can see that the smile's in.
He's never off. Look at him.
Away.
He's never off.
And we also have Helen and Ellie, a.k.a. the Scummy Mummies.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi.
So, this is your first Fringe.
Yes, it is. But
This
we have
is-
been going as a double act for 6 years, so we've
Yeah.
finally made it up from London to this fine city.
Have you been putting it off? Have you thought about it before?
Yeah, we definitely thought about it before, and then I got knocked up, so that does put a damper on things.
Yeah.
And then the baby was 2 months early, which again puts a damper on things.
Yeah.
So he's fine now, but he's 4 now, so we were like, oh,
Yes,
that's
we
fine.
could just leave him in the
Yeah,
car,
just
so it's
sit
fine.
outside.
Yeah.
That's how you
He's in a
incubate
tent
them, isn't
at the
it?
bottom of
Yes,
Arthur
exactly
Street.
right. Just turn
You
the
can leave them in
heating
the car. You
on.
just crack a window and...
Yeah,
Exactly.
fine.
Then he can
Good.
smoke. So that's good.
And Phil, you've been here. You've been here a few
I
years.
live here. I live here. I've been here, this is my 29th Fringe.
29th.
Yeah, I know, right? And still can't get a crowd.
You must know most of these people by now.
Yeah, I know. I should walk around and go, hey, you guys not coming tonight? I got in a taxi from the airport a couple of years ago, and this is my 25th one, and the taxi driver politely pointed out that I'd lived in Edinburgh for 2 years.
Yeah. It really does add up. Like, you accrue time here.
Yeah, I know a lot of places here.
I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get a Scottish passport when that all comes.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice.
When all that
Yeah, I'm
goes
developing a Scottish accent.
down. I can hear that.
I know, but amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye.
And you're Canadian.
I am Canadian. I was born in Scotland, actually.
Okay.
I was born in a place called Cumbernauld, outside Glasgow.
Very nice.
Yeah, they had this little advertising campaign in the 70s and the catchphrase was, "What's it called?" And then everyone, like, Cumbernauld. And so if you say, "What's it called?" to anyone in Glasgow, they'll go, if you go, "What's it called?" they'll all go as a group, "Cumbernauld." Very interesting,
I'm
isn't
going
it?
to start trying that just in the street. Or does
Do
it
it.
have to be Glasgow?
No, it can be anywhere in Scotland.
Some of them make it over here.
Yeah.
And Helen, you're Australian.
Correct.
I'm sorry, it sounded like a,
Oh my.
I know,
like an
right?
accusation.
Yes, I was born there.
Where?
Melbourne.
Oh, where in Melbourne?
Kew.
Oh, I love Q.
Yeah. Spark you. That's where I was born, and I've lived here for 13 years. So yeah, that's about it really. I don't know what else to say about Australia. It's hot, it has beaches, and there's a lot of racists there. So
Just like England.
yeah,
Fantastic.
slightly hotter though. Yeah, but no, that's right. And I came over here not for comedy, but I did comedy back in Melbourne years and years ago. I did my first gig at the Stand in Glasgow. So I sort of started comedy in Scotland. And then I just left. This is my first time back, so it's nice.
And Ellie, you're just white bread. You're just
tediously
British.
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah.
Nothing to, although my great-grandmother was left on a doorstep. She was a foundling, so we've actually
You
no
don't know.
idea.
No.
Yeah, I think we're probably royalty.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be excited on that. Where are you from? What's that show called?
do you think you
Who do you think you are? You'd be good on that.
Will it be quite a short episode? Because surely it'd be
Just-
like, well, we don't know.
It's a dead end.
Yeah. it's a
Yeah.
dead
No,
end.
they take your DNA.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't they? Don't aren't you Neanderthal? We're all
We
Neanderthal.
should do that.
You're part banana.
Definitely part Nando's. I've eaten the last 3 days. Yeah.
I've eaten a lot of Nando's
It's a
here.
terrifying show, that. I always think they should go back and, like, you get back and back and back, and then all of a sudden it's like, slavery, damn.
Yeah.
Or there's some horrible crime, or, and that's where it should stop.
The olden days was pretty bleak, in general.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
shit's
not
got
like
to-
today, where everything's totally cool.
Oh
Like women's
my
rights are like
God.
better than they've ever
It's just
been.
been on
and
the
all
up
that stuff. Yeah.
since then.
Things are
Yeah,
great.
exactly right. We've got it made now. Yeah.
So you've been eating Nando's for 3 days. Are you looking after yourselves?
Well, we're really enjoying the naps because we're both mums. We never get to sleep ever. So it's like, should we just have another nap? Another nap. Just drinking, napping, comedy, basically.
Yeah.
Some light wanking. That's about it, really.
Yeah. Always good. Some
Yeah.
light. Maybe on the weekends.
Yes.
Get a bit heavy.
Go turbo,
Yeah.
but just keeping it ticking over, really.
But
Like an outboard motor.
That's
You were
right.
saying you've got your family coming up.
Yeah, so today my husband and my 2 sons are arriving. So my sons are 4 and 8. So they're not into the whole going to bed at 3 a.m., getting up at 10, having an afternoon nap thing. They like a 6 a.m. wake up. So
So
that's
you're
really
like,
fun.
how long are they here for?
They're here for like a few days, and then their grandparents are coming. They've got a cottage in Falkirk, so they're gonna,
Ship them out there.
we're gonna ship them
Like
off like
evacuees.
convicts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, convicts, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not coming back to that.
Okay.
So that's good because it's support and it's nice and good to have your loved ones around you, and then good to ship
Get
them off
them
Yes,
away.
exactly.
so you can get back to your nap.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key. And I've been playing a lot of video games, so I've a lot of commitment to that. So yeah, I'm hoping they don't stay too long.
And Phil, you got people with you?
I'm sharing with my partner, who also has a show.
Oh, great.
So we haven't seen each other. I'm doing 3 shows a day. And then the space where I don't have a show, she has a show.
Do you go see it?
I haven't seen it yet, no. No, because any free time I have, I'm spending asleep.
So that's good. You've got support here. I mean, you must know, by now you must know loads of people and...
Yeah, but I literally have been waking up, going to start the play. I go from one play, I've got an hour to get to the next show. I do that show, I walk home, I go back to bed, and then I wake up with an hour, I have another shower, I go and do that show, and up until now I've been leaving that show. I've been out one night where I've had 2 drinks, and then other than that I've gone, get some food, gone home to my flat, sit and read the play, and then try to get to sleep as quickly as I can so I can do it all again.
Is that typical from previous years as well? You tend to
It's been a bit more extreme this year because the show I have, the first thing of the day, is I have a 17-page long monologue. It's a Eugene O'Neill piece and it's really taxing.
Right.
So yeah, I need to be awake to do it or else it falls apart, and then I feel like shit.
I guess routine must be really key for like managing these 3 shows.
Yeah.
You got a day off?
I have the 12th off. Well, I'll be spending the entire day asleep in bed. I've already planned for that. So, I mean, it's not, it's my own fault for doing too much, but that's the name of my other show, Too Much.
This is good promotion.
Yeah, I'm literally doing too much.
It's on brand, Phil.
But I, if you know my act, my act is a screeching, wailing, screaming, hardcore, mad show. So, and then the show I'm doing with Tony Law is completely improvised, which is also a bit mentally taxing. So, I've discovered that I don't have any free mental space.
It's interesting. That's the first person we've had on. Like, we've been talking a lot about like what you do with like your spare time, and it sounds like you've just got none.
I would like to go and see other people's shows and do that maybe in the last 2 weeks once the shows are all up and running. But I'm discovering with Huey, with the play, I've got another actor on stage and I've got financiers, and it's my theatre company. I'm the one. If I screw it up, which I have done. In fact, the last time I was up early doing an interview, I screwed up the play quite badly. It doesn't reflect upon me. It makes it look as if I'm not trying hard enough. But I actually am, because I'm doing everything I can to stay as rested and as fed, feed myself well and stay on top of it. But it's not been easy.
Are you managing to do that? You're not at Nando's with these guys?
No. Nando's is actually, it takes too much time. I'm doing takeaway.
Okay.
I'm eating as quickly as everywhere I can as possible, and I'm eating.
He's got no time for refillable Cokes. He's
no,
got no time.
I don't.
You can't do that.
We went for. I went for.
For Phil.
Yeah.
Went for a Thai meal with some friends the other day, and I spent the whole time sitting thinking I could be asleep right now.
It's always the best option to be asleep, and it always is.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I mean, we have some laughs, but
So it bodes well for your audiences. So how's your show going so far?
fucking awesome. It's great. I can't complain. We've been selling out, and the audience really like it, and we've got great feedback from the audience. And but we've been doing the show for a couple of years, so this is sort of like the greatest hits show. We are literally spaffing all our best jokes ever in an hour. So we hope that would have been a good thing, since they're our bestest jokes.
There's one joke which I wrote actually on my comedy course, which I did 6.5 years ago. So I've been telling that joke for 6.5 years.
Is it good yet?
Well, it got in the GQ list of the best jokes at Fringe yesterday. So now I feel like that.
I think it can die now, Ellie.
That's the requiem. Do you know what I mean? That means I no longer have to do that joke, so I'm ecstatic that joke finally can be buried forever.
Yeah, it's got the accolade it's always wanted. So it's a Scummy Mummies show. So in terms of marketing and how we target our audiences, we know who our audience is. So it's sort of easy. And when we've asked the flyers to go out, it's like, find the mum, the pram, you know.
All the dads, we've had a lot of
dads. All the dads,
yeah.
Heaps of dads,
a lot
actually.
of grandparents.
Yeah, so, and young, we had a drag queen midwife in the other night. He was lovely, and so he wasn't in character, but he had a lovely time. So, yeah.
For those that don't know, you have a very successful podcast.
We do have a very successful podcast, thank you for mentioning it.
So you've got like quite a following built up already.
Yeah, that's right, and we've got lots of followers on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's been lucky, and lucky our show hasn't been shit. So you know,
as far as we know, as far as we know.
Yes, exactly,
we can't
exactly.
Really be objective.
Let's touch all the wood here.
What time is your show?
7:50.
7:50. Look.
I didn't realise you brought flight.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
the first
just
people
casually
to bring the
relaxing.
flyers. No, we don't generally let people plug their shows.
Oh, sorry.
This
We
is
say
not
that.
my flyer,
But come see that.
but it could be.
You've
I
got like
could.
a whole lazy Susan of flyers here.
Yeah.
You've got to let people.
He's lovely.
It doesn't spin.
We're sharing our room with this guy, Tom Lenk.
Oh, we love that. You should come
Yeah.
see that at the weekend.
So that's very nice. And so, so our tech team's been pretty good, and all the people around us have been pretty supportive. So that kind of helps. Because we're new and thick. So we're like, I don't know how this works. What do I do?
We always say at this point, now that you've mentioned the event, the venue staff, a lot of the performers, we keep just saying to camera, like, treat your venue staff nicely, because there's some people who don't, would you believe?
I don't understand that. I don't get it. Just be nice all the time.
It's nice they're with you all month.
Yeah.
And they're probably having a worse time than you because...
They're probably getting paid four quid
Exactly.
an hour.
They have to pay to be there.
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone outside a venue the other day, and they were saying, I said, like, how many hours you work in? They said, well, we have a rota system, so we do one full day and then 2 half days. So the half days are 8 hours, and then the full day is the full 16. And I'm like, no, that's not a half day. That's a full day and then a double day.
Yeah.
But they're smile on their face
Yeah, I
almost all the
know.
time.
Young, cheery things.
Yeah, we have a lovely guy called Alistair who's done all our shows so far. He's done like 8 and he's been amazing.
Yeah.
And today's his first day off, and his little face last night was very, it was exciting.
He's
but
very
he's been
excited. Your day off means that the night before it becomes a big night.
Yeah, exactly right. So he's been awesome. So so that's been really lovely, and can't really complain. It's been all right, really. And I've had a whole month away from my husband, so win-win.
Phil, are all your shows in the
I've
same
had a month
venue?
away from her husband as well.
We're all happy together.
Are all your shows in the same venue, or are they spread between?
My
different
shows
venues?
are, I do the first one at the Gilded Balloon, and then the second one's at the Hive in Nidri Street, which is a Heroes venue, which is a really great venue for an alt comedy. And then I'm doing the Monkey Barrel.
Okay.
The Monkey Barrel 4, and the Monkey Barrel's got 3 new venues in there this year.
Yeah, Monkey Barrel's very big this year. Lots of people getting out of the bigger, sort of more established traditional Big Four.
I mean, they have a better financial deal. So it's for someone like Lou Saunders, who's going to sell out whatever room she's in. She's just getting a much better percentage of each ticket sold. So, why wouldn't you go there? If you don't need to be in one of the main 4 venues. You guys should not be in.
Yeah, get out of there, for goodness sake.
No, but I mean,
make money?
Yeah. I mean, the difference would be if this is of help to anyone. I was selling 250 seats at the assembly room checkpoint, and on the weekends, and about 100 a day during the week. And it took me to the last week to break even. I went home with about £1,200. The next year I went to the Monkey Barrel and I was in 100-seater, sold out beginning 10, and went home with five digits of money. That's the difference in the cost of what it costs to mount a show at one of the main 4 venues versus what it costs to do a show at one of these more indie kind of, you don't get the coverage. Unfortunately, I think it's crap actually. It'll change because of people like Lou and Ahir Shah, and there's more. The free fringe is different than pay what you want.
Yeah.
So I think once people realize, I can get the same coverage there, why wouldn't I be going to an indie venue where you can make a bit more money? And what'll happen, I'm assuming, is that the main 4 venues will, and I think they already are. I think the Pleasance already does that at night. They do a pay what you want type of thing after midnight. I think.
Okay.
Or they did last year. So I think they'll slowly catch up and realize that you have to. The stands are constantly shifting in Edinburgh, and obviously if you're an act that draws people, then you'll do quite, you won't lose money in your venue. But
I think it's changed a lot, like in the last couple of years, because Pay What You Want went through a period of like 5 years where people were like, I haven't got any cash, it's just card, and then like iZettle, or the sort of the payment methods where you can just we have a reader, you can just tap your card. Lots of people like I think the street performers as well, like all got these things that people can just tap their cards on and pay a 5 or 10.
I don't have one. I should probably. I mean, when I got here, I thought I'll keep getting one, but I've literally been asleep. So I haven't. I've been running shows and not even had the time to book that. I'm supposed to be booking flights to a gig in Russia, and I haven't done it yet. So those are all.
Thank you, Deirdre.
Those are all positive. Deirdre's got hairy knuckles.
It's the tiniest tea I've ever seen in my life.
It's
So insulting.
Like
espresso of tea.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Refreshing.
Because it is.
I'm fine, thanks.
He's just got massive hands.
Fine.
That's probably what it is.
I didn't get anything.
It's all welcome because.
Can I have a thimble of water, please?
It's all
I'd
welcome.
like an even smaller drink than
That's
that.
right. Just
It's all
got it
very
in my
welcome
eye.
because it's delicious Yorkshire tea.
Oh.
Who sponsored us and sent us a whole bunch of tea bags. So
It
we could
makes
give
make
people
them
free
look
tea.
big.
Yeah, exactly. If this
Who has
table
that
doesn't
large man?
this table doesn't do the job, the perspective on this shot must be all over the place. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh no.
We mentioned flyerers. Do you employ flyerers? Do you do some flyering yourself?
I'm using a flyering team this year. Last year I did it by myself and I hired one fantastic guy who dressed as a bear and went around and helped me. And I didn't think he was here this year, and then I arrived to realize he had his own crew.
Is it this guy?
That's him. So flyers are very important, really important, and they're important to sell tickets like pre-show, but also just for a Pay What You Want venue. You can just fill all the seats with. You can fill every seat, so you're playing to a full room every night.
Yeah.
If the flyer does a good job. Yeah. And then the people put money in a bucket. I mean, I've found in the last 2 years that people don't have the money. I think with Brexit and all the rubbish that's going on in the country, people are being really stingy with their cash.
And a lot of them are performers who are kind of seeing like hundreds of shows whenever they can.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the Free Fringe does quite well. I know lots of people down there, and I think if you get a good bucket speech or you have a great show, people will put a fiver in, which in the end is probably more than you make per ticket sold.
Our tickets are actually £200 each. So.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
Exactly.
so it's a theatre of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone did. Who did that? Alfie Joey did that one year. He did a show in his car. I think it cost like £40.
Drove people around.
Drove people around and did the show in his car.
Wow.
There was a show this year, or was it this year or last year, that it was £100, but they would come and do the show at your flat or like wherever you wanted them to do it. It was a guy with his son.
It's all right, I'm
And I
grimacing.
can't remember. I'm going to have to try and put this in a subtitle at the bottom once I've found out who it was. But it was a guy.
Were
and
they
his, like,
called B&E? Breaking entry? That's a joke about breaking entry.
Was it not just a veil for a high-class escort?
very specific type of escort.
And then you get a
I
massive.
think Doug Stanhope did a show for £25,000. I don't know if anyone actually bought it. He did a show. He came. That was one of his.
That was his thing. Yeah.
Just one year he came and did one show for one person for £25,000. I don't know if anyone went for it.
We'll have to check that as well. We'll do some fact
We
checking.
did it. We
You
did
know
it
what? I
British.
have a feeling if it did happen, I would know.
Yeah, that would be like the legend of the.
But
the
actually, if he was
25
smart, he
grand
would
show.
have got. So he would have lent someone £25,000 to say they did do it. Anyway, who knows?
We did a gig yesterday to 8 people in a children's wear shop. 30 people were meant to come, and then only 8 turned up. And there was a couple of people drinking cans of cider, which was nice at 2 o'clock.
In a children's wear shop?
Yeah, in front of some children's clothes.
Nice.
So that was kind
And there was a baby and a dog. It was good.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Oh, look at
Actually, it was
it!
fun.
Look at a
We had a
baby
lovely
and a dog.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lovely time.
Because actually, a lot of it, we've got a street team through our promotion and all that, and that's lovely. But we do most of our promotion, like for our tour, we've managed ourselves for the last 6 years, and we do most of our stuff through social media. So we've got like over 100,000 Instagram followers, and like mums are on Facebook all the time. So we've been doing that. So yeah, we did this shop yesterday because then they put it on Instagram basically, and then hopefully that shifts them. So I feel like ours is a sort of new model maybe, but it's good.
Because a lot of people outside just assume that, like, you know, if you're a big act and you've got a management team, then like it's first class travel, you're staying in some elaborate spa on the edge of town, you're making like hand over fist money. You guys have a roadie, right?
Yeah.
We do. We have a roadie who is my father.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's an old comedian. He used to come up here in the 80s and stuff. So
I used to come up here in the 80s.
Did you?
She meant veteran comedian, not old comedian.
I'm having him put down soon. And he
You just
came
put
up.
me down there.
So
See,
he
I'm
came up
firing
with
now.
me.
I'm waking up.
Hey, something's kicked in.
He's on. No, he's gone back.
Okay. Oh.
What's his name?
Jim Barclay.
Oh, right, okay.
So
Yeah, I didn't know you said that, yeah.
oh, there we are.
Yes.
So he roadies for us now. So he's good times.
He's
but it was
great.
quite fun. It was like walking around Edinburgh with a sort of tour guide. Oh yeah, no, I remember 1984. Oh, I took a piss down that alleyway. All right, Dad. Yeah. Ben Elton. Yeah, all right, Dad. We got it. So that was fun.
Fantastic.
That's great. It's great when we tour around the country because he'll go into the theatre and go, oh yeah, I did King Lear here, all blah blah blah. So it's really nice.
That's
Yeah, because I've got
great.
you guys on
That's really
Instagram,
great.
and like it's a selection of like after show curries with
pretty
the
much.
three of you.
But
Yeah.
always go for curry. Yeah.
Curry
yeah.
and lager. That's what we live off.
And what's funny is as well, he's become a cult figure. I mean, he's always been a massive cult, but he's now so because we do Insta stories on Instagram of him just being himself. Just he's inherently funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in laughing at, not with. He's just a
Yeah.
funny old buffer. So we film him, and so now he's got this following, and people come to our shows and they take selfies with him. They don't know about his comedy history, but they just want a selfie with him because of the Instagram.
Because he's your roadie.
Why do you
Yeah.
get him
They
to open
complain
for
if he's
it?
not there. We've
What's
had
that?
complaints because he's gone home after
Yeah,
our shows.
exactly
People go, where's your
right.
dad? It's like, well, he doesn't live with us 24 hours a day.
No,
Like,
sadly, he was here for the first week, which was nice.
Why does he do your support?
what's that?
Why do you get him as a support act?
Yeah, he should be opening for you.
Well,
He's got a different vibe. He's
You're worried he's going to take over, aren't you?
pretty much.
That's
You've
it.
seen it in my eyes, Phil. You've
I don't
seen
think
it.
he's had his time yet.
I know.
73, this is his moment. Phil.
73.
I mean, as the two youngish female comedians, and then an old white guy gets more attention to you, it hurts a bit. It just hurts a little
Yeah,
bit.
that never happened. Since when did the
I know.
Since when did the white guy get more?
I know, exactly.
Finally.
It's their
Right.
time.
Now,
like I
wait
say,
a
it's their
minute.
time.
Finally, he has a platform.
Yeah.
That's not fair. There's lots
Not
of
all, no.
there's lots of white comedians being ignored on this festival.
It's equal opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. You can come here and be equally as ignored.
Thank God for equality.
Exactly.
So, how are you doing with reviews and stuff? What do you do with those? Do you care? It's one of my go-to questions because I find it fascinating.
Well,
how
we would
different
like
people
some
deal with
people
it.
to review it,
We've not
really.
had hardly anybody in, to be
Yeah,
honest.
we
so a
had
bit
one
like-
review in.
yeah.
You don't need them.
No, exactly. That's what the established comedians like yourself have said to us.
Yeah.
Like, if you're selling out
Good for you.
and you're having a good time,
Yeah.
why do you need the review?
You don't.
And it's just one.
We had a lovely
person.
audience review. This bloke went on what website? Some website.
Oh, this is on the Fringe website because the audience can
Yeah,
leave, reviews.
and
Hopefully
he
nice
wrote
ones.
that him and his wife had seen 22 shows and they thought ours was the best, and he couldn't recommend it highly enough. And he said wife rating 9.5 out of 10, my rating 9 out of 10. And I thought, well, you could recommend it highlier than that, couldn't you? 'Cause you've only given us 9 points out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So
True,
you
yeah.
recommend it more.
Yeah, so he just doesn't do 10.
You could just recommend it and not like assign some arbitrary number to it
Yeah.
if you like.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you. What was his name?
Lewis Evans or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's
Shout out, Lewis.
Thanks, Lewis.
You're doing God's work.
And he's here tonight.
Here he is.
Yeah.
But we always do a meet and greet after our show, so we hawk our books and T-shirts and.
Forgotten.
You know that greet means something different in Scotland, right?
Does it?
It means crying, to greet.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
so meet and greet.
Well, I was going to say, it's probably a bit of both, is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes people do cry on us. Sometimes people.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is that moving?
No.
No, it's
There's
just
no sad bit.
bad
Just,
jokes.
I don't see it really moving, yeah.
No, but we get a lot of women who come and say to us that because we have this podcast as well, and they say they had postnatal depression, or they just felt very lonely, and they listened to our podcast at 3 a.m, and it sort of got them through, and they come and they cry, and weirdly they always cry on me, even though like in the show she's the nice one. I'm like the really sarcastic, cynical.
Who would you rather cuddle? Come on, like seriously.
You know, I'm stick thin. But they always cry on me, which is love. I'm happy to be cried on. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful. But,
it's lucrative.
It's a strange thing.
So that's good.
Well, that's right, because you guys sort of opened a door on this sort of parenting is actually quite
we invented
hard.
parenting.
And
Yes.
podcast. We invented podcast and parenting. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So because when we started the podcast over 6 years ago, there really wasn't anything like that. And I think we're actually the longest running female comedy podcast in the UK, and we've been like nominated for best comedy podcast. So one of my bugbears is because we're called the Scummy Mummies. I think we get sidelined that we're not like in the real comedy world, but we started off as stand-up comedians, and it was just we felt that there was a voice or a certain niche. But it isn't really a niche. We just basically talk about our own experiences, and it's sort of moved away from parenting anyway. We're just talking about our lives as women, basically, slagging off our husbands and our fannies. But yeah,
I mean, if your kids are like 4 and 8, like you've moved past the parenting stage now. Like
Yeah,
But they're basically self-sufficient.
Yeah, you've done what you can.
Yeah,
exactly
Off you go.
right.
Yeah.
They bring themselves up now.
Down the mines.
Yeah. So I think so it was good sort of starting the podcast that early because we were sort of at that forefront of podcasting and that sort of Instagramming sort of thing. But it's sort of nice that we've got the Instagram, which we do a bit of stuff on, and then we've got the podcast, and we do a tiny bit of writing, and then we do the live show, and they're all slightly different, so people can kind of access us in different ways.
So doing all that on social media, you like when it comes to audience reviews, you must get quite a bit of you get abuse, you get people objecting to you. You say it's all vag and tits, and I see a lot of people go, "Ugh, I don't want to see that. That's not comedy."
No, we've been very lucky so far. We haven't had any crap really. Our audience is very nice.
We pitch ourselves very low, so most of the time when we share photos of ourselves or something, people say, "Oh, that's made me feel less shit about my life," and I feel like that's really good public service. So I think if you pitch yourself really low. Like, we're not an aspirational Instagrammer or an aspirational podcaster. We just talk about how crap things are most of the time. And that makes people feel better.
And again, and not just parents. One of our favourite reviews ever is someone said, "Oh, I really love your podcast. I don't have kids, but it reminds me to take my pill." Which is, I mean, you can't knock that.
We give so much, Ellie.
Yeah, it's public service.
You've got to really keep the regularity of those podcasts up, otherwise there's going to be all sorts of...
I mean,
I know exactly right.
Population explosion.
Exactly, the planet is relying on us and our filth.
So you do social media?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay.
No, I'm not that successful at it, but I had a podcast with a comedian called Mike Wilmot.
I love him.
It was called Zen with Mike Wilmot.
Gary's brother, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. He's Canadian. He's a wise.
He's a big kind of gruff guy. I remember him at the Melbourne Comedy Festival.
He's actually lost loads of weight. He had a diabetes scare, so he's now running 6K a day. He's lost about 3 stone. He's skinny. He's like my size.
6K a day.
It's not saying skinny.
This is a nice
Smaller,
guy.
stick thin.
Smaller than he was.
Yeah.
Smaller than he was. But that never really took off. That podcast, but we weren't really pushing it, other than just being. That was just us farting around. That idea of that podcast was 2 guys who didn't know how to do a podcast properly. So probably lots of those out there. But no, I mean, I've been trying to push the shows I'm doing here on social network, but I mean, I don't know. It's difficult.
Yeah, I think everybody has a slightly different approach to it, and I'm not sure we've found a right or wrong way to do it. It's just whatever works.
Well,
for
I
you,
think
really.
you guys. I think a niche helps.
Yeah, I think
I think of a real something really defined helps, and I haven't really found that because I'm just like some old white guy. There's not much to say that isn't already being said out there. So I can't really think of anything, you know. If you could come up with one for me,
we're just lucky that mums are on their phones the whole time. So
well, there's that, yeah.
You know, and that.
But I'd be cynical. You did that because it was natural. It wasn't like you guys set out to do that. You did it because it was something that you carry. So that's why it's successful. If you were cynical and went, I'm going to do my postnatal depression podcast, you know, Phil Nichol.
That's your niche, Phil. You found it.
You know what I mean?
Postnatal, Phil Nichol. I mean, it's
it'd be a little cynical. So I just haven't really found anything like that.
I think that's true. You've got to be genuine, like, because you're not going to build an audience if people can smell like the fake on you.
Yeah.
Like, if you try and
people
do
smell the
something-
fake on me all the time. Can you smell?
I told you to stop buying that after the show. Fake by Lynx.
Fake on me.
I love that song.
Do you guys are aware of Fringe Central? Have you been in this building before?
No.
This is my pluggy bit for Fringe Central.
Oh,
I like to plug
it's
Fringe
It's
Central.
lovely.
Oh my goodness!
It's
Look
like-
at the light standards.
Yes, it's I like the glass ceiling. It's like Centre Parks for comedians. Everyone
Yeah.
should come here.
Yeah.
When
Very
they-
reasonably priced croissants.
Yes.
Yep.
I haven't plugged it for several days because when you register your show for like the brochure, a lot of people think like, oh, that's the 400 quid I spend or whatever it is to get in the brochure. But actually, it gets you a participants pass, which gives you access to all sorts of like things. They've got a whole like events program of like different things to help you through the Fringe and getting around Edinburgh. And there's all sorts of events of which like this is one. And there's practical stuff, like there's an internet cafe, and there's stapling and guillotines, so you can do like
Stapling?
stars. Oh yeah, and printing. So
Wow.
like anything you can't find. And they also do like one-on-one meetings with people if you're struggling and you want to like, how do I get press in? They have like an arts
I was
team.
going to say,
that
how do I
them
get
in.
pregnant?
They could probably help you.
It's
there as
a
well.
one-on-one meeting.
I mean, I've seen some of the staff. I reckon they could probably help you.
could.
There's a twinkle in a few eyes up there. They know their oats.
Excellent.
So, how do you cope if you have like a bad show? How do you guys cope? You kind of lean on each other, cry a bit.
Yeah, we.
Not that you have a bad show. Let's not set that up.
Everybody has bad
Yeah,
shows.
yeah. We have like especially when we're starting out, we had shit shows. But I think we're just good friends, and we like drinking and curries, and and we always think if we're going to a venue and you kind of get the bad vibes, if you know the tech's been a bit cunty and it's just got a bit of a bad vibe, we just always know we're going to have a lager and the curry at the end of the night, and that's always a good thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think that has really saved us in the last few years. Just always knowing that that's what we're going to do after the show.
And we've both had like shit jobs when we were younger and stuff, so it's like, however shit this is, it's never as shit as working in a racist bakery in Peckham.
Racist bakery. That sounds
Yeah.
like
It's
fun.
a great name.
Yeah.
You're
They must be
racist
doing
bakery.
brilliant.
Yeah, and then
in
they
the last
changed it to
couple of
Greg's. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's now called
That's
Legitimate
slander.
Concerns About Immigration Bakery. I imagine.
Is that slander? Right, so it's not nothing to do with
No, it's not. Satire, sorry. Satire.
Thank you.
It could be any racist bakery in Peckham. We don't know which one it
Everyone who
was.
lives in Peckham knows which one it is.
Now all the bakeries in Peckham are going, is it us? Are we racist?
Oh no, they found us out.
Phil, how about you?
How about me?
If you come off stage and go, oh,
I compartmentalize. This sounds really corny, but I'm able to stop. I've learned over years I do a lot of different things at the same time, and it was causing me some real mental health issues. So I've learned and taught myself to say that show's finished and I'm moving on to the next thing, and I actually fill my time so much with creating things that I have to not. I can't. They'll just get all jumbled up. So that's how I deal with it. But I have been at this particular festival. It's not been the easiest festival for me. So, but that's okay. I mean, because I had 2 years ago, I had one of the best festivals I've ever had. So you take the good with the bad. But I do tend to just, if I'm not in a good mood, I tend not to go out. I used to go out and think I'll go out to the Loft Bar and I'll make myself feel better, and then I found myself going, and that's not a really. I don't think it's the best you're not the best ambassador for yourself if you're telling everyone all of your problems like I have done on this show. But it's no, it's if there's anyone that's younger watching thinking that it's always great for all of us all the time, it's not. And sometimes you just have to go and have a good cry in private. I think it's best to do it privately and not to drag it around the loft. But some people do.
No, exactly right.
Some people do,
right.
and maybe I'm just older, but I just and also I'm quite shy, and I don't want to ruin other people's nights and be embarrassing. But I will do it, goddammit.
Has it changed? Is it easier now than when you first came here?
No.
In black and white?
No. Nope. I think it's different every year. It's great if you've got a great production company and a great show. If in 2002 I was nominated for the Perry Award, and the next year I came back to do a double act with my then girlfriend Jan Fair, and we lost about 14 grand.
Nice.
So, no, it sounds like I'm all about money, by the way, and that's not the case.
No,
that's not the case. Those are the realities, and when that kind of pressure, and as well as it being in a show with the partner, that was failing miserably, and everyone looked going, oh wow, he just got really lucky the year before. That was absolutely devastating. Yeah. So it does happen, and then I came back the next year and was in 12 Angry Men, which was not only stormed the Fringe here, but it ended up going to all the international fringes all over the world. And not the fringes, the international festivals in Adelaide and Wellington. So, yeah, so the next year I was back and the following year we ended up in the West End with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So, yeah, it can go up and down. Yeah. And definitely this is a down year for me.
Well, I was going to say, if you are down, if you are struggling, then you can
call me.
Call Phil.
Because I have time. I'll be asleep.
Check between his shows. But check out the Mental Health Foundation website. There's loads of helpful stuff on there. And if you're really struggling, there's also what to do if you're very much struggling. And you can get some links to some help.
Well, one thing I'd say is that you have to really be honest with yourself and monitor that you're not letting other people's opinions and all the stress of seeing someone having an amazing reviews and other people selling out and adding extra shows and doing all that, and you thinking, why am I doing this? Keep your eye on why you do it in the first place. It's a self-fulfillment. And you can find self-fulfillment even if you're playing to 4 or 5 people, or your shows, people are telling you it's the worst thing ever. Well, who cares what those people think? We put them on our flyers because it helps sell tickets, but actually they're just people. They're just like anyone else. Talk to your friends and talk to other members of the public that are telling you that it's good. Listen to them and accept that as being as valid as any kind of critic.
And also be aware that when you read a flyer and it's got all these amazing comments on it, they're not the only ones. If they're the ones that we've picked to put on the flyers to sell the shows.
Well, have you seen my flyer? Do you have one? I don't know if I have my flyer. My flyer's got every 5-star and 4-star review, a star I've ever had on it, and on the back every single amazing thing. Well, not every single one, but I couldn't fit them all. The whole show's called Too Much. I'm kind of mocking flyeriness with it because it's just like you can just put whatever crap you want on. No one really cares. I mean, it's just. As I've become here more and more and more, you realize you guys want to be really honest, and you've probably done that because your company want you to do that. But actually, you could write anything on there. Yeah. What's someone going to go? No, they're not funny. I mean, of course, they're very funny.
Exactly.
Alistair's got some good. This is our buddy Alistair, whose show is brilliant, and he's got. Is it on the flyer? Oh, it's not on the flyer, but I saw one with quotes on. Yeah, a nice man. And then this is a comedy show.
Yeah. It's important to let people know what to expect.
Yeah. So, but my dad always tells a story about how one year Malcolm Hardy, back in the olden days, wrote his own 5-star review and handed it into the Scotsman desk, saying, "Oh, I'm the gardening correspondent. I've been to see Malcolm Hardy's show. It's brilliant." And they printed it.
Yeah, right.
So, it just goes to show.
We actually got a review from the gardening correspondent at the Scotsman.
Did you?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Because I think it's just during the Fringe, it's all hands on deck, send everybody to review shows.
Yeah.
Well, they're cutting back though. That's one of the problems they've had this year is they've all the printed press is cutting back because digital media is where it's at.
Yeah.
So they realize that maybe people aren't reading like 10 pages of reviews.
We also had Alice from Staging Change on the other day, and they're looking into like the ecological impact of Edinburgh and how people can help. And they're saying like flyering, the days of like people printing like 10,000 flyers.
Well, I don't.
They have to go.
Well, I
we
don't.
have to stop doing that.
I almost didn't have flyers this year, but then I realized you do actually need to have something. But there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
I only put posters up in my venue. I haven't had big posters on the walls here. I think it's absolute. It's not only does it look trashy. I don't. In fact, I don't know. I'm torn because I was watching some kids looking at a poster going, "Oh, that looks amazing," thinking maybe I'm being an idiot. But then I hear something like that, and I think, "Nah, it's probably going to be the way that it goes." So,
I think the big billboards are the sort of the vanity ones that as soon as you get to Edinburgh, it's like, right, where's my billboard? I can go and get my picture taken in front of it. It's like it's a great background.
I think it helps if the people know who you are. I mean, like if people are a Scummy Mummy podcast fans and they go, "Oh, they're here," that's what they do. But for someone like me, that's sort of underground, sort of weird indie artist, I don't imagine the people come to Edinburgh, they're going to look for my name. They don't need to know. I don't need to have it by the Lady Boys of Bangkok, although.
I walked past your poster because it's on that curvy road up, whatever that road is. I was like, oh, it's Phil Nichol. He's in a play.
From the Mound up to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a production company. That's the Gilded Balloon that have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a really nice big one.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I just don't. I haven't been out. but that's not me. That's the production company that's chosen to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I went past that. We defaced our own poster the other night because we were pissed and we drew cocks on ourselves, which was rather mature. But I mean,
well, there was the year.
This really lends itself to cocks.
Yeah,
there was the year. I can say it because it's the name. Cunt in the Gang the Scottish comedian.
I think it's Canute in the Gang, but it looks like.
It's Canute in the Gang.
I think on their posters they
Canute.
put Canute. I think they put KNUT on their posters.
It's KUNT. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't have the E though. That's Canute, isn't it?
Oh, not King Canute.
It's pronounced Cunt in the Gang.
King Canute has
and I've said it twice just to be the only podcast. Because they were saying you can't get it. Don't want to say it again? I will. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just not. I'm not saying the word.
No.
And here I am with Scummy Mummies. How is this going to look for
we always
a
go
reputation?
Low. We always go
so,
low.
but anyway, they had little stickers, little like penises that they stuck on people's posters with their name on it, and no one would really have noticed it except one of the big companies complained that they're defacing all their posters because they kept putting on all of Russell Kane's posters. So they complained, and that got a huge amount of press, and that got them. And they had to go around and take off all the stickers, which they did, but they ripped it so it still left the shape of the. So they basically just. I mean.
I think somebody did that last year, put stickers on people's posters, and there was a big thing about, like, don't do that, I've paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, well, it's a festival, come on.
Yeah, but don't
stickers.
Yeah.
Well, if you go around and do your own, you're all right.
Yeah, exactly right.
So I now know that when I see yours, I can draw cocks on them.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he complains, I didn't do that. They do it on their own.
We did the Underbelly in London a couple of years ago, and and we had one of these big billboards, and someone drew on me. They just drew a cock and balls, but they just drew like the outline.
Yeah.
A very basic outline. Yeah. So I filmed myself going, look, this is the state of British youth today. This is where we're at. They don't even know how to draw cock and balls properly.
Yeah.
And then I added the hairs.
Yeah.
And the
and
the squirty bit.
3 splashes?
Yeah, 3 splashes.
Industry standard.
Industry standard.
Viz standard.
Yeah.
Were they generous with the...
No, quite a small penis, and I was spared actually, but
No, the other day I gave you quite a little one, and it was quite high, and then I had a big curvy one that went like that. So.
A big curvy one.
Yeah, big curvy one.
I've seen a curvy one, just a little like dunk.
What, like a spiral?
Yeah,
like a corkscrew.
It's like a pig, isn't it? Isn't a pig have that?
Or is it dogs?
I don't know.
No, it's a
This
condition.
has gone way off the rails.
We went from mental health to squirrely pigcock. And me swearing. I'm sorry for saying the gang.
No.
I should have said that.
Within
The gang.
context.
It's
Context.
within context. Where have you found so far that you like in terms of like food and drink?
Oh, the Fringe Centre is really the place. It's like I can't Fringe
Blueberry
Central.
muffins.
Oh yeah.
Where did we? Oh, we went. I had a nice pizza at that place last night.
Chivarinos, that was lovely.
That was delicious. And that Ting Tai.
Ting Tai, very
Oh,
strong.
Ting Tai, yeah.
Excellent,
Ting Tai.
excellent. There's been some nice, in the George Square Gardens, very nice gyoza, and I had some nice, what's it called, pad thai and stuff.
Yeah, and we've been
Oh
hanging
my
out
God.
in Stockbridge a little bit because it's much quieter. It's out of the way a bit, and it's quite
it's nice out there.
fancy. Yeah.
We had a nice pub lunch yesterday, and that was delicious, and then had some wine, and then had a nap.
There you go.
And then the show.
It was a pretty great day.
Fucking
Jealous,
nice.
jealous.
Yeah.
There's a place over here, just on here, called Kim's Mini Meals.
I've heard that was meant to be.
And you've got to queue up to get in. It's only open from 5:30 to 8:30. And it's been going for years, and I used to go there when and it was open all day. And it's Mr. Kim and his grandmother and family cooking, and they won a Michelin star at some point. So it now became ramped up, but it's Korean food, and it's and the other thing I do is, if you have a chance, if you get a day off, take a train to North Berwick, out right where the Forth enters the sea. And if you go down on the dock, you can just follow that. You go down from the train station, and then you walk along the beach if the tide's not in. Walk along the beach, get on, and then go on to the end of the dock, and there's a place called the Lobster Shack, which is run by one of the local hotels.
Thank
and
you
can
very
sit.
much.
You can sit if it's a nice day, sit on the wall. And if it's a rainy day, sit under an awning and eat lobster and chips. And they have a wine. It's because it's attached to the hotel. They've got a wine cellar, so white and red wines. They get nice wines.
Lobster and wine, thank you very much.
And it's not too expensive because they sell quite a lot of it.
Yeah, there's some nice places in Leith as well, but pricey, but very swanky.
Well, I always go to Fisher's in Leith, which is the original fish seafood place down there. On the Monday night when we finish, I always book a table for me and my girlfriend. We go and have the seafood platter.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Although this year she's become a vegan, so I don't know what we're going to do.
You're going to eat all of the seafood.
I'm going to make
she
it.
can have the garnish.
I'm going to make the nut.
Yeah, the
you eat
ice.
the nut
You had
roast.
some chips.
Enjoy your lemon.
I have a feeling she's going to let her thing down just for the tradition.
I dabbled in veganism. For the
And
beginning.
lesbianism. It's the things you dabble in.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Not at the
funny.
same time,
Yeah, I
though.
know.
Eat the meat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said no. You.
Big fan of clams. The old seafood platter.
Oh
That
dear.
lobster roll. Anyway, yeah. How do we end this?
That's how we end it.
I don't think it ever ends. This is just
It never ends.
September, actually.
Okay. Oh, that's
It ends
right.
with this question.
The never-ending FFS.
What are you hoping for? What would be a big win for you at this festival? If you get to the end, what are you going to think? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Just tell them, be bold.
Just that we've done it. We've
Yeah.
you know, we have been working towards this for 6
Debut
years.
show.
If we
Yeah.
sell, if we
Your debut show.
we've
What do you
sold
want? You
80% of the tickets. If we sell 100%, we can't
They
sell.
want
100%,
they want a nomination for the.
We're not
best
going to get
newcomer.
nominated.
We're not nominated.
Our jokes are funny. People have a lovely time, but it's not sad.
There's no sad bit.
There's no sad bits, and we find that.
But you wouldn't mind if you did.
Well,
Maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if I won a
You didn't want to
fucking
jinx
£1 million.
it, so that was right. Yeah, well, that's what they say. Well, that's
I
what.
wouldn't mind getting off with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, right.
Feels unlikely.
It's not that great. It wasn't great.
I heard he's all hands.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Very handsy.
Very
Very
How about
handy.
you, Phil? Presumably hoping to get through it with your...
No. I mean, it's still early, is it? No. You know what? One thing is, it's a long festival. So after the last 2 weeks, feel like after you've had a day off, feel like a completely new festival. And I just want people to come and see the shows. I mean, that really is all that there is to it. I've written the new show. I took You're Wrong one on a tour, like an international tour of the UK, about 129 shows in 15 countries. And if I could repeat anything close to that with the new show, then that would be great. The play Huey that I'm doing with Mike McShane is just a great piece of writing. I did it as an acting exercise, but it'd be lovely if someone came to see it, or it got a limited run somewhere in London. You know, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. And the thing with Tony Law is an ongoing project, Virtue Chamber Echo Bravo. We are trying to save the world from left-wing. We're making fun of extreme left-wing politics. We're kind of making fun of ourselves. It's a clown show, and we've got loads and loads of merchandise. We bought about £4,000 worth of merchandise before, and we don't have a show, which is kind of one of the jokes. But we do actually have to shift the merchandise. So if anyone wants a mug with Virtue Chamber Echo Bravo on it, I've got loads of them. Loads of them.
We'll do a merch swap if you
do,
like. Do you
yeah.
want a Scummy Mummies t-shirt or a scumbag?
Yeah,
Have a
sure. I'll
scumbag.
get a scumbag.
Excellent, nice,
Cool.
good. I've still got a, what was his name? Cartridge Davidson badge from Tony
Oh,
Shaw
right, okay.
from
Oh, I don't know the badge. Might have badges in here.
I feel like we've moved into the shopping channel now.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no, I've got.
QVC.
Yeah, that's
There you
usually
go.
where it shuts
There's a
down.
Virtue Chamber Echo Bravo
Oh,
badge.
a little pin.
Oh.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
pin.
awesome.
So while we're swapping these,
Yeah,
I think I'll
thank
just say
you.
thank
In fact,
so much
I've
for
only got
coming
one.
in.
Oh, that'll be mine. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll take it in
Right.
turns. We'll
Yeah.
be right.
Right.
We'll be
Thank you
right.
so much for coming in.
Thanks
I
for
hope you
having
have
me.
I hope you have a fantastic festival. Hope you keep your sleep up. Keep your chin up.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping to do one of these interviews every morning.
We'll see if we can get
Something
something
to get me
earlier
out of
for you.
bed.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank you.
for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more guests.
You're getting quite aggressive with your own.
Trying to inject a bit of fucking adrenaline.
The mental health program.
Hiya. It's the show again.
Do you want to do it tomorrow? Why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
Fine.
I was going to say, don't tempt it, it'll be in. Is that okay? Yeah, all right.
I'm just making it.
Okay.
It's your show.
3 stars.
Thank you, Scotsman, for the extra star.